Marriage is not working. Divorce is not working. Fornicating is not working. Separation is not working. But I'm glad to tell you tonight that the blood is still working. And I'm glad to report that it has never been unemployed. The blood has never been laid off. The blood has never missed a day's worth of work. The blood is still working. And because the blood still works, if we can commit ourselves to the ways of God, marriage can get off the unemployment list and start making a positive reinforcement to society if we follow it the way God has intended marriage to be. Now, if you're single, you're going to need this in the future. And if you're married, you needed this yesterday. So I want to look at 4 things that a man needs, and I want to look at 4 things that a woman wants. Number 1 need for a man is respect. A man needs recognition. He needs praise. He needs to be honored. And I know, ladies, I know you've been told that a man's number 1 need is something else. Okay, but listen, the man's most sensitive organ on his body is between his ears, not his legs. And if you can focus on the right head, he will commit, you can keep him. Sometimes we're aiming too low. So why won't a man buy the cow? It has nothing to do with the milk. You know the old saying, why should I buy the cow if I can get the milk for free? And what the phrase is insinuating is if you keep giving him free milk, he's never going to commit. He's never going to marry you. But check this out. If you stop giving him milk, he still ain't committed. Because this is not about milk. It's something more vital and valuable than milk, because we know cows produce milk, but we forget that cows also produce T-bone steaks. And I want you to understand that a T-bone steak on my plate is more valuable than a bucket of milk. If you're going to keep giving all the milk and let him drive your car and sleep all day and live in your apartment and you paying all his bills, he will start losing respect for you. See, and you think it's love. Don't scratch me where I'm not itching. There's some things that we can do, ladies, to honor our husband. And there's some things that you can do that will cause him disrespect. Let's look at the disrespect. Fellas, you ever been out in public and you make a very wise and profound statement and your wife says, that's not true? You have just, boom, deflated him in public. Let me tell you what he heard when you said that's not true. He heard, you big dummy. Now, I agree with what the other guy said. Things are racing through our head because we get crazy. We're like, oh, you won't be with him now. Let's talk about respect. Praise for his accomplishments. Come home and the garage is clean. Praise for the garage. Don't say, when you going to cut the grass now? Because he's waited all day for you to come home and see the garage. Now, I know we have heard that a way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Who lied to you? Who lied to you? Who lied to you? While you are picking up all these Paula Deen cookbooks and while you're watching the Food Network trying to win him over and trying to impress him, he'll be faithful to you. But listen, there's a difference between being faithful and being committed. So while you're trying to get to his stomach, say, you know, Grandma said, you better feed him. You feed him. Feed the man. Feed the man. He'll keep coming back. He'll keep coming back to get a plate. Number 2, now we're getting somewhere. Sex. Everybody say sex? Sex is like fire. Fire is wonderful as long as fire stays in the fireplace. When fire gets out of the fireplace, it can be very dangerous. Sex is wonderful as long as it stays in the confinement of the married institution. Women, God has given you a gift. One of man's desires is that gift that you have. Single folk, you just eavesdrop here. You've got to be able to act sexy even when you don't feel sexy. FYI, flannel pajamas ain't sexy. Rollers in the hair ain't sexy. Because it would be very interesting if you wore all the Noxzema on your face when you were dating and you looked like you was going to go miming before you went to bed. Maybe it would have put the stress level down on a relationship, the struggle level down. But what happens is when you were dating, you were fine, foxy, and fabulous. Then we get married and we kind of get laxed. I'm tired of him just rolling on top of me. We'll roll on top of him. He has a desire. When his needs are met, when he's respected, it is more easy and more properly performed to meet your needs. Man was in the mall and he's looking for his wife and he runs into another gentleman. The other gentleman said, you know, I'm looking for my wife too. And he said, oh yeah. He said, well, what does your wife look like? He said, my wife, tall, long hair, mini skirt, fishnet stockings, high heels. He said, what's your wife look like? He said, never mind, let's find yours. You got to keep the sexy on, ladies. Things that a woman needs. Number one, security. Security is vital to the female. When Eve gets on the scene, the lights are on, Adam's got a job, Adam's got a house, all the animals have names. The last thing God ever created was Eve. When Eve gets on the scene, everything is in order. There's no sin. Women need security. They need to know it. They need to know, they need to feel, they need to hear that it's going to be okay. And when the women do not feel secure, they tend to be a little shallow on the respect area. When they feel very secure, then they're able to give that respect as the man needs. Have you ever seen a beautiful woman walking down the mall with a man that looks like chicken noodle soup? And you're like, how did he get her? Her man says, listen, I'm offering her not looks, I'm offering her security. She feels secure in my presence. I'm demonstrating my love for her. I'm demonstrating that she is the princess. I'm demonstrating that she is my wife. I'm demonstrating that I am like Christ. The man is like Christ, the protector and the provider. And God gives us an everlasting and an eternal security. Sometimes a woman will nag and a man says, why are you nagging? You know, listen, all the work that I did yesterday. Yesterday, cleaned the house and washed the car, fixed the steps, painted the bathroom. And we start adding up points. But this is what we need to know, fellas. All points expire at midnight. That was yesterday. Today is a new day. And I need to feel secure every day. Don't tell me what you did yesterday, because we're thinking we in good shape. Listen, I'm off for the next 2 weeks because I didn't clean the bathroom. Your points don't carry over. What you did yesterday is good for yesterday. Number two, communication. Communication. Women are communicators. Men, we have got to be able to communicate with our wives. The men are into the headlines. Women are into the details. Men, we're like microwaves. Women are like crock pots. I had a 2.5-hour meeting today. My wife comes home and says, so how was the meeting? Fine. What'd they say? Nothing. They will get an inner rest if we can be interested. If I say spirit and truth. This is how he says we are to commune and how we are to fellowship, how we're to communicate with Jesus Christ. Even when we're talking with people, we need to be in the spirit and we need to do it with truth. Because if you only have spirit, give me a T, give me an E, you ain't got no team. You have the emotion, but not the education. So to do something in spirit, cheerleading without team, and to do it with truth and no spirit is like having a surgery with no anesthesia. Did you catch that? In truth, it's like having a surgery with nothing to numb you. So when you do something in spirit but no truth, it's meaningless. And when you do something in truth with no spirit, it's just mean. So my wife will say, hey, honey, what shoe do you like best? And I'm thinking, whatever shoe will get us in the car faster. She'll say, what shoe do you like? I'll say, that one. And I do like that one. But I just say it in truth, but absolutely no spirit. So there's no love. So I say the truth, mean. She don't know whether or not if I'm being serious or what. She said, you really don't like that because of the way you said it. So we've got to make sure that we have spirit and the truth. Just don't talk in truth. You got to have the love factor. And then just don't be all love when you're not honest. So if you use these things, if both parties, if the man and the woman would submit to each other, respect your husband, meet his desires, be his friend, communicate, give the security. If both parties come in agreement, marriage, which is broken today, can be healed, marriage can be fixed, and marriage can be restored.